This is how I'm gonna go ahead and set up the week for gold, GJ, NAS, and this week is real, not predictions, so there's no actual fluff here. If you came here for edits and motivational background music and the copy and paste signals and all that, then just hit the skip button. But if you're actually here to become a weapon in the markets and to trade with an actual purpose and to stop letting money control your time, then this is what you wanna do. So let's dive into this week and let's jump straight into the land of the charts. Here we are in GJ, and yeah, guys can see I got a bit of structure and things here. Let me kind of put this off to the side a little bit. All right, cool. So you can see GJ predominantly has been in an overall uptrend, and you can see the latest banger that I actually caught on Friday. I don't normally actually trade on Fridays, but you know how it goes. Caught the sells down and the buys up. So for those of you guys who say I don't sell, I actually do. But anyways, let's kind of get back to the bigger purpose. The current bias more so that I had on GJ come the beginning of the week actually still stands going into next week. So I'm going to kind of clear up my charts a little bit so we could see it with the utmost clarity. So that way we're not actually getting psyched out by what we see here. So give me a second. Let me remove some of these lines, these QPs. Yeah, but predominantly, just based on the setup and everything that we're still on track for the same bias, more so different TPs, right? Because last time I checked, coming even here on the weekly tab, we've been kind of pushing up more, and really and truly this downwards trend that we have that kind of started from here to here, we're approaching that area of the -27 that's going to kind of break it. Overall monthly wise, right, let's just kind of clear the charts. We've been kind of, you can see sellers exhausted, right, and then they turn into rejection. So at what point in time sellers are all the way down here, they exhausted out, right, and now buyers kind of came back in. Stepping into the weekly, you could see where buyers kind of step back in and how we're trying to, you know, basically take over this area. Going into the daily though, you see it a little bit more clear. We kind of pull back here and then we kind of made that clean shot off, hence this higher time frame fib that I have from this previous point to this high point to now this low point, and you can see that we're pushing up. So predominantly the areas that we want to be looking for are like the 195 area, which is around like 200 pips from where we are. And then if I stretch this out a little bit more, these up here. Now, these are weekly projections, which means these are going to take a couple days to kind of hit. But as we go more into our analyzing time frame, we could see where we are in this beautiful flourishing some more. All right. So backtracking with the fibs, we came right here to where we consolidated and then we pushed up, making that 23.6. So you know the sequence of fibs, we kind of move it to the new high. We kind of came back and we made some market structure right around here. Right now, you guys know how I get. I like to add an eclipse at my most recent market structure higher high and my most recent market structure higher low, so I know where I am within this new move. Now, we haven't really broken higher, so there's not really too much I can do with the fibs, right? You could see the market structure drawings. You can kind of see all of this beautiful stuff. And really for me, it's not until I get like around the 6 hour that I could really kind of see where we are within the trend. It doesn't really change also too much because the main bias is still the same no matter how you twist it, no matter what time frame you cycle through. This is still going to be a 23 no matter what time frame you go to. It's still going to be that area. It wasn't until we came up here that we confirmed, you know, this retest down here, and then we're still kind of pushing up. So regardless of the fact, we're still kind of playing out in that longevity of the move. Now, here's my only thing, right, with where we are. We got this little bit of area of resistance right here that we got to kind of push through. Now, price has broken into this area, so we just want to kind of watch it. So when it comes to watching this area, obviously, right, we have the QPs that are in here, like the 500. We also got the 250 right around down here, or should I say the major, and then we got the 250 right around here. So we kind of know where we stand with entering the premise of this zone. And obviously looking at structure, I obviously have some lower time frame structure that you'll be able to see as we kind of go down lower here, right? To where you can begin to just adapt the ideal of the main trend up here, to where right up here we were kind of rejecting as an area of resistance. We came, we retest, then we kind of fell, then we came right here, and then this is predominantly where we saw like a transition and a shift with the buys back to the upside, and you know, these lows no longer being lows and then transversing into highs. Now, it does look like we're at a bit of resistance right around here, which is why I say it's important to kind of know where you are, right? So we could act as resistance and come back down here for a retest come next week, because it doesn't look like we have quite enough momentum to kind of break out. Essentially, what we're going to go ahead and wait for is a retest back down to the downside, maybe potentially somewhere like around here, right, to where we can get this retest and we can really kind of confirm. But based on the volume, if we don't open up and continue to kind of break past this 500 and go up to the upside, then we're probably going to come back down and get this permission down here for a retest. You can see it's also an area of indecision decision. So I'll look out for this major QP right around here and see what happens from next. But that's what it's going to be. Again, the profit targets overall for this week are going to be the -27 and the -61.8. We come down to go back up and push through these hard to reach areas. Next on the list is NQ, aka NASI. Now, NAS predominantly has just been being a good girl. She's been really doing her thing. You could see we have the trend marked up. We have everything kind of marked up so we know where we stand within the structure, right? And if you guys don't know, allow me to kind of help alleviate and bring some of this into fruition for you, right? So uptrending bias, making the higher highs and the higher lows, right? Maintaining retests. Now, right about up here, we could see that we hit an area of resistance. Momentum just didn't have enough to kind of continue going up. And then here we are now within the most recent price action to where we're still kind of respecting this resistance area. A bunch of white lines, but allow me to kind of alleviate some of the QPs so that way you guys can have a firm understanding in what you see at this area. Now, I was more so towards the selling side of NAS just because I kind of saw the higher high that we were at, which is right around up here. We could see that price is still striving and failing to break above this area on the higher time frames, which predominantly is good, which means that we're going to kind of come back down and get our retest, which is predominantly what we're doing now. So you can see the sells that I was looking to take. They lined up pretty much, right? You can see the structure, you can see the retest, you can see everything. Going down to the 1 hour, I believe that we successfully gotten this retest, especially in this area. So now we should be actually looking to kind of ride the longs kind of going back up. Now, this is just my thought on NAS, right? If we look at it, the 125 was respected as an area of support, and also the 150. The 50 area. So once these two QPs are solidified as support, we could ride the momentum all the way back up, and potentially we could ride NAS up to these new levels right up here for -27 and -61.8. As long as we don't get no crazy tariff news or anything like that. Y'all guys know fundamentals does play its role in the markets and in these market conditions, but as long as we ain't getting none of those, we should be good. But it should be a simple retest and a continuation. Outside of that, my bias wise, I could see that we're just right up here when it comes to structure and everything, and we could see these rejections. If I just take it off, we could see sellers are exhausted a lot, right? And that buyers are rejecting very strongly. So I think it's only a matter of time before the buying bias just comes over and takes over and pushes it up to the upside. So with NAS 100, get in where you fit in and ride that volume up to the upside. Last but not least, gold. I'll make gold pretty quick because gold is pretty simple. In a nutshell, basically we're in a move within a move on gold, right? Kind of bring it to the bigger perspective. Well, before I do that, let me make sure this smaller perspective is not visible, so that way we don't throw you guys off. That way it's only visible on the 1 hour. Well, it was supposed to only be visible on the 1 hour. It's all good to sleep. So in a nutshell on gold, right, we made this higher low, we made this higher high, making all-time highs. We came back and we got this market structure retest right around here at the 50%. So now we're in a move within a move. We go down a little bit lower, right? We know where we are via this big move right around here. We could say that this is the potential market structure area because we got a shift from here to here. We kind of outline these areas so that we know, right? We kind of made our shift from here to here to here, right? And market structure, everything aligns. Kind of changing the visual concept that you go ahead and see here, right? We're gonna go ahead and tweak these settings so that way this is only visible on the daily time frame as well as this 4 hour time frame. We have a move within a move to where we made a smooth transition. If I come down to the 2 hour, you probably could see it a little bit more right here to where we made this transition from this downtrend to this uptrend right around here where we kind of shifted right here, breaking this previous structure. You can see it a little bit lower too. The lower I go, the more easier you'll be able to see it to where we broke structure right here, and then this is the first higher low in the overall uptrend. So that's measuring this piece just to kind of get you guys caught up in a nutshell. A lot of 23, we came back, we hit that golden zone retest, and then from here we got the big move that we're in now. So we came back, we obviously retested, and we know where we are within structure. We kind of came and held this area, looking at this minor trend, right? This is the high point, and then this is that potential low point right around here where we tested 70.50 but found structure on 61.8. So this is how you know that the trend is also done as well, right? We kind of came here, we pulled back, came here, pull back, came here, pull back, small transition. So we're potentially getting these retest areas. So as long as we can hold this area that we're at right now, we should be good to kind of ride the volume up to the upside. Now, when it goes to projections, same thing. I think we want to take, because we know where we are on gold, right? we want to kind of make sure we take the moves that align with the move within the move that we're looking for. So I want to kind of bring y'all back because these are the goals, which is the all-time highs that we hit already. But now if you look at it from a nutshell, this one, TP1, will be, obviously the resistance area of this previous one, which is why it aligns. And then this one's the actual higher high that we're going to make after. So just keep that in mind. I stretch them from left to right for a reason. So we should be good based on the trend ending, right? We could see it clear as day that the trend has ended, more so right around here with the shift down. We can see that the buying bias is here and it's present. So there is a move within this move to be caught, but as long as you're using your supply and demand as support and resistance and you're waiting for price action to show you, you should be more than good. So we should be getting some type of rejection here. If not, we'll probably get another rejection down here at the major at the 330 area, but let's just kind of have some patience and wait and see. But I'm expecting for this move to go long as well, so we could ride it up to the upside as well, just because we already transitioned trend and the trend is kind of showing us everything. Outside of that, we may get a retest, but again, keep in mind we're observers of the market, so we literally trade what we see and not what we want. You dig what I'm saying? But that's it for the main part when it comes to the Sunday breakdown. The strategy, the blueprint is waiting here for you in the description. It's completely for free, but don't treat it like it's cheap or else you'll miss the point. Study it like it's your future, or study it like I say, like your future depends on it, because the charts decode, the mindset loads, and you know what I'm saying? It's all right. Your boy Juicy Banks, and I'm out.